Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope you're having a fantastic Monday so far. We're ringing in another beautiful week, becoming the best versions of ourselves, doing it together, and creating a life that is ultimately worth living. If you're not quite feeling it on this Monday, you already know. Pepper and avalanches of prosperity and abundance coming your way. And today, I figured what I would do for today's video would be to share my story of enlightenment and how this whole thing came to be, because it's actually kind of unique. So for those of you that don't know, I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, and from the moment I was young, I would say about 5 or 6 years old, I questioned things around me. I questioned people going to work every single day. I didn't really understand that. I kind of always felt like, well, if I'm a kid and I can do whatever I want all the time, why as an adult do I have to go to do something that I ultimately don't like to do to make money? And so from a very young age, I actually questioned society, life, how things kind of worked, the ebb and flow of this planet. And I just kind of went with it growing up. So my mom, single mom, worked a lot, and I was always around my brother and sister, and I made the most of my childhood, but I knew that there was something more out there that I hadn't been told or showed, and I just felt like life had lacked something, and this was at a young age. So as I started to grow up, I did what most people do. I went to college, graduated, got a degree in automotive technology. I knew I wanted to help people, and I really liked being around cars. So I figured, well, this is a great avenue for me. I can work on people's cars, I can help them, and ultimately life's gonna be fantastic. So I took what I thought was my passion at the time, and also the desire for wanting to help people, and I went to school for it and tried to make a career of it. So got my degree in automotives, and when I got out into the workforce, I was a working mechanic for BMW in Chicago, and I did that for probably about 2 or 3 years or so, and I just felt like something was missing in my life, and I really couldn't put my hand on it, or put my finger on it, if you will. But I just knew that I needed to keep doing what everybody else was doing. That's what I thought was, I'm just going to keep working. I'm going to keep doing, I'm going to keep going through these motions. Eventually, hopefully something will happen and I'll have a breakthrough, right? But it led me down a path of being extremely unhappy, depressed. I was very sheltered, introverted, really only talked to, I don't know, maybe about 5 to 10 people or so, had a close-knit group of friends, and that's what my life was all about. I just felt this emptiness inside of me, and I didn't know how to fix it. And what ended up happening was I got a call when I was, I think, 21 or 22 from one of my best friends, still currently one of my best friends, and he introduced me to multi-level marketing. If you guys don't know what multi-level marketing is, it's basically you buy a product, you enjoy the product, you tell your friends about it, they buy it, you get commissions from it. Never seen a business model like it before, but it made sense to me, and I trusted this person. So what ended up happening was I joined this multi-level marketing company, and I turned the sales game on immediately. I was that person that was word vomiting and basically trying to make money, and didn't really understand law of attraction at that time, how to have my energy work for me. So as you can imagine, I didn't have a lot of success with it when I first started. And I was growing deeper into this depression because ultimately I was still working as a mechanic, didn't like it at all, wasn't fulfilling. At that time as well, I was in a 4-year relationship, and it ended really, really bad, and that devastated me. So I had a lot of things going on in my life that led me down a road of depression. And I remember calling my best friend who introduced me to multi-level marketing, and I said, I'm feeling terrible right now. I feel like life has come to a screeching halt and I have no idea what to do. And he said, you know, what I think you need is, I think you just need a vacation. I think you just need to come out, and he was living in Flagstaff at the time. I think you need to come out and just get your mind off of all this stuff. Get your mind off of what's happening in your life right now and just be able to think clearly. And so I was like, that's a fantastic idea. Let me go ahead and, take a vacation. So I took a vacation for a week to Flagstaff. And what my best friend didn't tell me was that he was living in a house with 5 or 6 people who all they did was study law of attraction. I had no idea what law of attraction was. I was a video gamer at the time that I was introduced to multi-level marketing, and I had no idea what law of attraction was. And when I came into this environment of success and law of attraction and stuff like that, it was like something clicked with inside me, because when I was in Chicago, I was somebody who didn't have a lot of hope, didn't have a lot of passion, really didn't have much drive for life, didn't have a zest, wasn't happy. Let's just say an existence that wasn't optimal, that I ultimately had pictured and wanted for myself. And when I was put into this environment in Flagstaff, it was like completely opposite. Everybody was motivating each other. Everything was positive. They were reading. They were making themselves better. They were growing businesses. And these were young people. These were people that were younger than myself. And instantly I was like, there's something to this. What's going on with this? And so after about a week, I came back to Chicago, and I tried to recreate that positivity. Mind you, at this time, I knew a little bit about law of attraction, but not a lot. And I really didn't take it seriously. So I went back to Chicago, tried to bring back that positive motivation that I had, and I just couldn't replicate it where I was at. And so what ended up happening was 6 months after I went back to Chicago, I just decided, in my relationship, as I mentioned, had ended, that 4-year relationship that I had, and I had nothing holding me to Chicago anymore. And I decided, if I really want my life to change for the better, and I really want to achieve those things that I want to achieve, I need to go see what's going on in Flagstaff. So I actually packed up, moved to Flagstaff, and harbored the idea of law of attraction. I still questioned it. I was still playing video games all the time. I wasn't really studying it, wasn't studying successful people. But what ended up happening was as I was around this culture of people, it's like everything started to click for me. I started to understand that calling that I had in my life when I was a kid, when I was 5 or 6 years old. I started to understand that there was more to life, and that life could be whatever I make it. And so little by little, I started changing my habits. One of the best things that ever happened to me was when I shipped my, I was an Xbox player. When I shipped my Xbox showed up, but the Xbox game just didn't show up. So as if divine intervention was there, I was forced to stop playing video games. And so I had to figure out a way to take up the time that would normally be there. So I started reading books, started learning more, started educating myself, and ultimately just learning more about success and becoming the best version of myself. And so little by little, I started to pick up these things that ultimately led me to where I am today. And throughout this whole journey, what I really learned is that passion for wanting to help people was always there, but the vehicle wasn't. And what I'm thankful for is that I had to go on my own journey toward all of these drastic changes, these ups, these downs, these depressed feelings, these feelings of empowerment, these drastic changes in my life. All this stuff had to happen for me to get where I am right now, where I can give back to other people, where I can share my experience, where I can speak and have a story and be heard by other people. Because I can honestly say that I was that person that didn't have a lot of hope, and now that I have completely changed my life for the better and have been finding success, I can now give that back to other people as well, and be that light that ultimately I needed when I was young too. So that's my story of enlightenment. And the best part is that as I grow more and more and more, I become more enlightened because I understand more. And I think that's the most incredible part about this whole journey towards success, is that we're all in different places and we're all growing. And based on where you are in your growth, the next step of your enlightenment is going to present itself, and then you're going to learn more, and then life becomes exciting because really you are becoming the best version of yourself. And that's really one of the main reasons why I have this YouTube channel. So I want to thank you guys for listening to my story. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Monday. I appreciate the support. If you haven't, definitely hit that subscribe button. I'm so thankful to have you guys and be able to share my story with you. I want to hear your story of enlightenment too. So let's go out, let's crush this week, and let's do it together.